Let me ask a question that Nigerians must stop skipping. Must a white person, a foreigner, approve something before we believe it's right? I recently spoke online about children being dressed inappropriately in public places. It went viral, over 1 million views. And the loudest defense was this: but white people do it. Oyibo people, they do them. That sentence exposes a deeper problem. Somewhere along the line, white behavior replaced critical thinking. Instead of asking, is this safe? Is this wise? Does this protect our children? We now ask, is it normal abroad? Let me be clear. This is not a condemnation of everything Western. I am UK trained. I lived in the UK for 2 decades. The West shaped me significantly. My education, exposure, systems thinking, and advocacy work. I have seen its strengths firsthand. I respect them. But influence is not ownership of my moral compass or roots. The problem begins when foreign endorsement becomes our evidence of correctness. Pidgin English was dismissed as inferior for decades until BBC Pidgin amplified it. Overnight, it became acceptable. The language didn't change, the validation did. We mock indigenous accents, yet admire foreign ones. We shorten African names to sound global. Ronke. We straighten hair, bleach skin, import wigs, accents, and ideals, then call it progress. Many of our children no longer even know what an African looks like without modification. Historically, African societies prioritize child protection, modesty, and communal accountability. Many Western societies prioritize individual freedom and personal expression. Different histories, different social realities, different consequences. Yet today, exposure is defended with a lazy refrain. They do it abroad or in saner climes. Who is they? What makes a climb sane? And when the foreign culture replaces discernment, if a practice endangers children, but it's popular overseas, does popularity cancel responsibility? If harm speaks with a foreign accent, does it become harmless? This obsession with proximity to whiteness is not modernity. It is unresolved inferiority disguised as progress, laced with post-traumatic slave conditioning. Development requires discernment, not imitation. Context, not copying. Wisdom, not validation. Africa did not lose its wisdom. We simply stopped trusting it.
So that thinking for ourselves that you asked there is quite hard. A lot of people can't think for themselves. They need a leader who will do the thinking for them, and the herds follow. A lot of people are mentally colonized. And like you asked again, when did the whites become the moral standard? To be fair, don't let me go to that part, but yeah, let me say it. I even consider a lot of their ethics morally bankrupt because we have totally different values, totally different cultures. So why do we have to superimpose, normalize our culture that works for us, that has worked for us for decades, over ours? You see, organization, this is even beyond moral compass. It applies across all spheres of life. Also in professional competence. You see organization looking for a token Oyibo on their team, so they can be taken seriously. You see employers looking for someone who has worked in a foreign company. They are not even looking at company. They just say, oh, you worked with this firm. Oh, yes, I want him. You see them looking for foreign trained graduate. Not even about competence. Even if this person did one online course at Harvard for 30 minutes. They'll say, oh, he has Harvard. We don't understand what you're like. What precisely is going on here? I think it's important for us as Africans, as Nigerians, to reflect and look at what precisely do we find important? What is important to us as the individuals? What is important to us as a collective? Do we want to get out of this new colonialism, or do we want to stay stuck, in the shadows of our colonial masters?
I like how Zuma put it. We're now mentally colonized, right? For me, whenever this kind of conversation comes up, I think Zuma had a very similar advocacy recently, right? In terms of our look and what we deem right. It has to be foreign wigs. And you are saying it's not. Anytime people bring this advocacy, my hair is always foreign. You don't bring it when my hair is African. Please be telling me.
Just get angry and just remove it.
Wow, this one is not removable. Well, anyway, just to add to that, white validation is also being weaponized by government supporters. right? You see a case where you're trying to explain something that is not right in terms of administration, governance, and all that, and they will go and look for data. But it's happening here too. Their own is worse, right? Case in point, I remember when I did a bit of conversation around open defecation and all that, and say, India has the most. I'm like, okay, India. You want us to start breaking down India in all this conversation, right? So it has, I mean, everybody right now, even for politicians, they just look at what to use to ensure that they hold you mentally. And again, it's just a game of numbers and game of winning, right? But we have to really sit down and critique things, like ask questions. If they say this is like this, why is it like this?
Yeah.
Why do I have to do it because someone from XYZ country did it? If they did it and there's some semblance of positivity in that, can we take that and break it down and also bring it back home so that it
culturally
aligns,
relevant.
Thank you, to our value and our culture, not because, oh, they did it here, then that's the standard of how it's done.
Yeah. The Queen of England will never speak Yoruba
Nigerian
as
English.
Benga.
Fair enough.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
And literacy is not English. Is that what you're telling us?
Absolutely.
That literacy is not English.
No.
Yeah.
Knowledge is not English.
You can be literate and
education
just,
is not
speak
English.
Yeah.
Capacity building is not English. That is not assigned to a particular language. No. And my inability to say, oh, we have to do this, does not represent the signboard of my wisdom.
I think that's debatable, boss.
It is okay. You can take that. You see, we need to build our true identity, our culture to reflect our future, to build our future, because we have lost it totally.
Yep.
You will see foreigners serving their jail term in Nigeria being paid higher than our own trained graduates. What's wrong with us?
They call them experts.
What experts?
But when we jackpot, they call us experts.
No, immigrants.
When we jackpot, what do they call us?
Immigrants.
They give us the name that suits them. Listen, who tells you that your adimole or your patewo on your head is not beautiful, is not fitting? Must you put a bone straight on your head and your destiny is not straight? The hair many women put on their head is expensive than their brains.
Yeah, I agree.
You understand my apologies? I don't mean to disrespect anybody. We need to go back to our identities, our true identity. Sir, you know, in the early 16th century, administrations are professionally done in the Yoruba Benin Kingdom, that these people were coming here. I grew up to know that sheikh and the princes of some countries were coming here to take medical treatment in that Ibadan. This is not what somebody told me.
No, you're not. You're right. You're not.
You understand? So what? Suddenly we just became lazy. We don't want to think. We don't want to. Hey, brain capacity for every race and tribe are from the same manufacturer. We are all products. It now depends on how you exercise because it is elastic.
Okay. When people talk about northern data on literacy, the question I always ask is, literacy in what? Western education? Because an average northerner can read and write in Arabic. But because we are tracking for Western education, you say they are illiterate.
We think English is the standard.
We think we make Western education the standard.
Why not our own language?
I was in Qatar in November for a big conference, and they were very unapologetic. They were speaking Arabic.
Yeah.
They will give you mic to translate English if you want.
No.
But the core was English. It was Arabic,
in
rather.
South Africa, all the 9 languages are official language.
I mean, we have the Nok civilization, which dates back to 15th century.
Yeah.
So, and that at that time was known as perhaps one of the highest civilization levels, to which you had people coming in to understand. That's our culture. That's where we came from. The question is, what changed? Was colonization. It was this idea that there's a better civilization than what we had. And then there was that structural breakdown of our society, traditional, cultural, religious, all that, to what we have today. So essentially, we had that issue of colonization. Now, after independence, what we then had after that was neo-colonization, which was what Zuma was talking about.
It's still ongoing.
And it didn't take the form of hard neo-colonization in terms of the economy or the military. It was in culture. It was in dressing. It was in the way you speak, in things like that. And so for us, the way we take over is what you said earlier, shift the culture.
Yeah.
And I think we've started that through our music. We're shifting the culture through our music.
Through
You
our
can
fashion.
see that.
Our
Through our
fashion.
fashion.
Yeah.
You know, I went for my daughter's graduation at the UK. And, you know, I asked, what is the dress code? They said it's a suit and tie. I said, no. I went to my danshiki full with my beads, everything.
So we must learn to appreciate what we have before we can utilize it. This is what is at the heart of education, after all.